Did you know that there are 10 types of pronouns in English? Well, stay tuned because in this video, I'll be reviewing them for you. Welcome back to my channel. Hello, my name is Dr. B and I'll be your English teacher today. Today's video comes as a request from one of our viewers. I want to say a great big thank you to Julia for this video request. And if you have any questions about the English language, drop it in the comment section below. You never know, I may just make a video on your topic next. Now let's jump right in and start by talking about our first type of pronouns. Our first type of pronouns are personal pronouns because they can refer to a person or an animal. Now, personal pronouns are divided into subject pronouns and object pronouns. Subject pronouns can be the subject of a sentence, and object pronouns can be the object of a sentence. The subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Now, object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, and them. Now, as I mentioned before, subject pronouns can be the subject of a sentence and object pronouns can be the object of a sentence. Now, check out my video on the passive voice, I'll link it above, and you can see how a subject pronoun can change into the object pronoun and vice versa in a passive voice sentence. Our next type of pronoun is the possessive pronoun. The possessive pronoun is a type of personal pronoun. The possessive pronoun shows the relationship between a noun and something that it owns or something that it possesses. Now, our possessive pronouns are mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs. The possessive pronoun its is not very common. In fact, we usually use the possessive adjective when we're showing a belonging that refers to an it. Possessive adjectives must be followed by a noun because they are adjectives. Our possessive adjectives are my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. So be extra careful that you know how to use a possessive pronoun, which stands alone, and a possessive adjective, which must be followed by a noun. Our third type of pronoun are relative pronouns. Now, you may have heard about relative pronouns because I've discussed them in my video about adjective clauses. I'll link that video right here, and you can see how we use relative pronouns to help describe nouns. Now, the relative pronouns in English are who, that, which, whose, whom, when, and where. The adjective clauses are used with a relative pronoun to describe nouns. Now, the relative pronouns that are used to describe people are who, that, whom, and whose. Whose refers to a possessive relationship. And the relative pronouns that we can use to describe things are which and that. When and where are used to describe times and locations, respectively. Our fourth type of pronoun is the reflexive pronoun. We use the reflexive pronoun in sentences where the subject and object are the same thing. Now, keep in mind that the reflexive pronoun will reflect on its antecedent or the subject in a given sentence. Our reflexive pronouns are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, themselves, yourselves. Now, keep in mind we have both singular reflexive pronouns and plural reflexive pronouns. Myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself refer to a singular subject. Then we have ourselves, themselves, and yourselves, which reflect a plural antecedent or the plural subject of a given sentence. Intensive pronouns look exactly like reflexive pronouns. Our intensive pronouns are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, themselves, and yourselves. So what's the difference between a reflexive pronoun and an intensive pronoun? Remember, reflexive pronouns are used as the object of a sentence, and they are used when the object and the subject are the same thing. Now, if you remove a reflexive pronoun from a sentence, it will fall apart. It won't make sense. Let me give you an example. She saw herself in the mirror. Herself is the reflexive pronoun. If I remove it from the sentence, I have, she saw in the mirror. That doesn't really make sense. So here, we must keep the reflexive pronoun because it shows a relationship that is necessary. On the other hand, intensive pronouns are used to show extra intensity or emphasis. And because it's more of a style usage, it's not necessary for the meaning of the sentence. You can remove an intensive pronoun and the sentence will still make sense. Let's look at an example. He drove himself to the party. Himself is the intensive pronoun. However, if I remove this pronoun, I have, he drove to the party. Now that sentence makes complete sense and it can stand alone. Himself is just used for extra emphasis to show that he alone drove to the party. Our sixth type of pronoun is the indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns are used when we don't exactly know about the noun. They're used when nouns are not specific. Now, if you want a more thorough explanation of indefinite pronouns, be sure to check out my video linked right here, where I go through all the meanings and uses of indefinite pronouns. Now, in English, we have several indefinite pronouns. Everyone, everybody, everywhere, everything. Someone, somebody, somewhere, something. No one, nobody, nowhere, nothing. Anyone, anybody, anywhere, anything. Now let's move on to our seventh type of pronoun, the demonstrative pronouns. Now, demonstrative pronouns change depending on proximity and whether the noun they refer to are singular, plural, countable, or non-countable. Now, I've actually made a video on demonstrative adjectives, and you can see that video right here. Now, keep in mind, demonstrative adjectives must be followed by nouns. On the other hand, demonstrative pronouns don't need to be followed by nouns because they are nouns themselves. They're pronouns. Now, if we are referring to a noun that's next to us and singular or non-countable, we will use this. If it's a singular or a non-countable noun, but it's further away from us, we'll use that. Then we have these. These refers to plural countable nouns that are near the speaker. Then we have those, which refers to plural countable nouns which are further away from the speaker. The eighth type of pronoun that we're going to discuss is the interrogative pronoun. The interrogative pronoun is used in questions when we don't know exactly the noun that we're referring to. For example, what, which, who, whom, and whose. Now we have 4 additional interrogative pronouns that aren't as common, and they are whatsoever, whichsoever, whatever, and whichever. Now, in these cases, as I mentioned, interrogative pronouns stand in sentences and questions when we don't exactly know what we are referring to. Be careful with interrogative determiners. Interrogative determiners are used in combination with the noun. For example, look at these 2 sentences. Whose is this? Here we have the interrogative pronoun, whose, and we don't exactly know what we're referring to. The second example, whose shirt is this? We have the interrogative determiner. We know we're talking about a shirt. Interrogative determiners are followed by nouns. Interrogative pronouns are nouns, and so nothing follows the interrogative pronoun. Now you might be asking yourself, Dr. B, aren't all question words interrogative pronouns? And the answer is no. Some of the question words like when, where, why, and how are interrogative adverbs. They tell us the time, the location, the reason, or the condition in which something happens. So not all question words are made the same. Our ninth type of pronoun is the reciprocal pronoun, and we only have two reciprocal pronouns in English, one another and each other. And these pronouns are used in sentences with reciprocal relationships, where two nouns have a relationship where they do the same thing to each other. It's a back and forth. And so this is the reciprocal relationship, and we can use each other or one another. Our final type of pronouns are the distributive pronouns. Here we have three types: each, neither or neither, either or either. Now, all of these pronouns use a singular verb. Each is used when we have a group, but we're referring to a single noun, a single person, place, or thing. Then we have neither or neither. We use this when we have two nouns and we are not referring to one or the other. Then we have either. Either is also used with two nouns, but here we are referring to one of the two. And there you have it, the complete overview of the 10 types of pronouns in English. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and you'll want to subscribe because in my next video, I'll be going through the TOEFL exam and why it might be the right exam for you.